here's a bit of business that you don't want. You don't want sewer backup inside your house. Now, as many of you know, a longtime sponsor here at WGN, as well as the Mr. Fix-It Show, is the folks at Perma-Seal. And they've also, over the past few years, I've been working with them directly to help promote their business. You may see me on a billboard now and then, and radio ads and whatnot, and TV ads and things like that, talking about all the good stuff that they do. I not only know this company very well, I've become friends and know the people that own this company, in particular Roy Spencer, and they have expanded what they've done. Not only are they out there helping to keep you dry with the water that comes in from the ground, but they've expanded to offer things in the sewer backup area, because it's not always water coming in from the outside, through the foundation wall. It's the sewer backup. And they talk a lot about in their ads about, we built so many houses that the sewers, they're not big enough to handle all this stuff. So how do we stop it from coming in? So I thought, what better person to talk to than Roy Spencer, who's joining me on the phone. Hey, Roy, how are you?
Hey, great, Lou. How are you doing?
Good. Thanks so much. I know that you're away. You're up at Martha's Vineyard with the president, right? Is that right?
Yeah, well, only if he's in Geneva, Illinois.
Okay. So
he's here.
A lot of people don't know. The cover is that everybody thinks he's in Martha's Vineyard, but he's in Geneva, Illinois with you playing golf. Thanks so much for taking some time today. Roy, you've been in the business a long time talking about groundwater, and I know that you and I a while back were talking about the fact that you were thinking about this sewer issue, and it was something that you guys weren't doing, a lot of, you weren't doing any of this business, but you saw it as a problem for a lot of folks, and that kind of made you address this system, right?
Yeah, it really did, Lou. It was actually the storm a year ago, July. We were just deluge calls, and we always get calls. People think wet basement, I'm going to call Perma-Seal, which we greatly appreciate, but then we'd ask them a few questions, and it turns out water's coming up out of their floor drain, and it's a sewer backup issue. We'd have to say, well, I'm sorry, we can't help you with that. Mm-hmm. I thought you could get me a dry basement. And so, it just got really frustrating not being able to help people, and saw it as a major problem. And we looked around, and there weren't a lot of good systems out there. And I said, well, if we're going to get into this business, we're going to have to put in, this is a very serious problem in terms of the amount of damage and the health issues in people's homes. So if we're going to put in a system, it's going to have to be something that's worthy of the Perma-Seal name that we can stand behind with confidence. So we actually did a lot of research and hired licensed plumbers and designed our own system that now we have total confidence in that we can put it in, and totally solves people's problems, not just seepage now, but also, against that sewer backup problem.
The ultimate problem, and you address it a little bit when you talk about this stuff in some of your spots, is that you're trying to get 10 pounds of you-know-what into a 5-pound can. I mean, we've got all these houses, and the sewer systems are just not big enough, right? And many of the municipalities, the sewer system and the runoff and city sewer in the street is one and the same.
Yeah, sadly, it's a growing problem. It's not just the city of Chicago, but an increasing number of suburbs have outgrown the adequate capacity of their sewer system. So we're seeing more and more people out in the suburbs as well. When you get these torrential rains, especially these record rains and things, their sewers just can no longer handle it, and the cities are frustrated. They have no answer. They can't rip up their whole system and put in bigger capacity, and even the Deep Tunnel project in Chicago is proven woefully inadequate. So the cities are frustrated. There's nothing they can do. They can't help the homeowner with this problem. So the homeowners really, have to find their own solution.
Mm-hmm. So talk to me a little bit about how your system works. I mean, if someone comes out and says, all right, I got this issue, I mean, what is it? Your system gets installed outside of the home, correct?
Right. And the first thing we do, Lou, is we come out and actually rod out the sewer line and camera it and make sure that, that is the problem. We're dealing with municipal backup, and it's not a problem of sewer line is collapsed or tree roots or something, which is, causing a backup. But we want to make sure that the sewer line has an integrity and, it doesn't need repair in and of itself. Mm-hmm. First. The other advantage of camera in the line, we can see all the connections that are going into the line. It's not just a direct line from your household lines to the sewer, sometimes there's connections from your downspouts or your drain tile or the sump pump, and there may be multiple sewer lines going out. So it's very important that the system is designed properly, and the only way to do that is to camera the line first. And then once we find all the connections, then we dig down out in the yard past that point. We put in a vault, and we put a dual or sometimes even a triple valve system out there, which are one-way valves, which basically allow your household waste to flow into the sewer under normal situations. So once the sewer is back up and want to come back into your home, these valves close and seal your home off and protect your home.
And the reason you do the double, obviously, is because sometimes these valves, I mean, basically what it does, it senses the pressure and the liquids coming back through, right? And then it closes. But sometimes debris or whatever can get caught up on one, and then the second one's there to make sure that it seals it up.
Yeah, exactly. Belt and suspenders in particular. I mean, we're dealing, with the sewer line.
Right.
Stuff flowing there, and we got tree roots and things like that, and it's very easy for a valve to get, clogged or not seat properly and things like that. So, definitely, we see too many single systems. It's a big job to do this, and you want to have peace of mind. So it's just foolhardy to rely, on one mechanical device. The other nice system, part of our system that's important that not all sewer backup systems include is a bypass pump. So in that vault we put out in the yard, there's also a sump pit and an ejector pump, so that when those valves close and seal you off from the sewers, you can no longer, the valves are closed both ways. You can't use your household waste either. So we put a sump pump in that vault, so your household waste goes into that pump, and we pump your household waste into the sewer line, overriding the system, so that basically during periods of sewer backup you can continue to use your household plumbing and your life goes on as normal.
Mm-hmm. And it's got enough, and the pump has enough pressure and volume to be able to kind of go against whatever pressure that comes back.
Can pump right into the line on the other side of the
now,
valve, no problem.
Just to explain a vault, maybe people listening, basically you're going to dig a big hole and put down like a cement sleeve?
Yeah, it's like a manhole, basically.
Right.
And it's all underneath the ground, but it's big enough so we can get down there and service and maintain the system, which is absolutely, important.
Essential, too.
Yeah, essential every year. Our system, any system needs to be, serviced and maintained. But the vault's completely underneath the ground, and we put a cover over it that can be, sodded over, and when we restore it, you virtually don't know it's there. So it's a big thing, but it's all underneath the ground. And
how close typically, Roy, is that vault to the home? Does it all depend on the system, or is it? It's not in the parkway, right? It's typically somewhere in the person's front yard?
Well, typically, but the important thing is, again, it has to be past the point of all the connections from your downspout, sump pump, discharge, and any other sewer line. So it has to be, it's typically 10, 12 feet out away from the house, but again, it depends on where the best place is to be.
Yeah. Boy, I tell you, it's been a lot of heartache for a lot of people with these rains, and again, this is a way for you guys to kind of combat this from both angles, right? To keep the basement dry from the walls leaking, but the sewer backup, and that's nasty stuff you don't want coming inside your house.
Absolutely. The whole intent is to, have a dry basement you can use with confidence. And, so if you get it waterproofed, okay, great, we're all done here. And then you get a torrential, record rain, and now the water's coming up out of the plumbing system and things like that. Again, you can't, you no longer have confidence in your basement, and you've got this major cleanup and things like that.
Right.
Conversely, if you have a sewer backup problem, and a lot of people have lived, unfortunately, with this chronic problem, not knowing it can be fixed or whatever, and so they get a sewer backup system installed, and now in a normal rain, great, I don't have feet of water in my basement, but now I'm getting seepage, and they had no idea they were getting seepage before because they had inches of water in their basement or feet from the sewer backup, and really need to address both issues if you want a dry basement.
Roy Spencer, founder and president of Perma-Seal. Their phone number is 800-421-SEAL. The website's permaseal.net. Roy, thanks so much for taking some time today.
Hey, thank you, Lou, and good luck with those ribs.
Thank you very much. Take care.